Hi everyone, this is Anusha. Welcome back to Teja Online Tutorials. In the last video, we have learned about mechanism of urine formation. In this video, we are going to learn if the filtration process will not takes place by the kidneys, what happens? What is the solution? So we are going to learn in this video. So actually, the kidneys are vital organs in the body. Several factors like infections, injuries, very high blood pressure and high blood sugar restricts the blood flow to kidneys, which leads to the accumulation of waste in the body, and the waste are not filtered by the kidneys. If blood will not flow properly to the kidneys for filtration, what happens? It leads to the accumulation of poisonous waste in the body, thereby it leads to the death of an organism. So filtration of waste by the kidneys is one of the important process to be done. So, depending upon the kidneys functioning or filtration rate, we can categorize the kidney into different conditions. So, if the kidneys will not filter the waste, it leads to kidney failure. So, in the next chart, we are going to learn the condition of the kidney. Okay, so depending upon the glomerular filtration rate by the kidney, we can categorize the condition of the kidney. If you take the stage 1, if the glomerular filtration rate is more than 90%, a kidney is said to be in healthy in condition. If you take in stage 2, if it is 60 to 89%, if the kidney is not functioning properly, it is mildly decreased in function. In stage 3, if it is about 30 to 59%, it is moderately decreased in function. If you take stage 4, if the glomerular filtration rate is about 15 to 29%, it is severely decreased in function, and here the kidney is said to be in diseased condition, thereby the waste are not filtered by the kidney. If you take the stage 5, if it is less than 15%, the kidney is said to be in failure. That means the kidney is damaged. The waste are not at all filtered by the kidney, and the kidney is said to be failed. The kidneys. So this kidney failure is sometimes called as end stage renal disease. It's called sometimes called as end stage renal disease. That means the complete and irreversible kidney failure is called as end stage renal disease. If this kidney stop working completely, if this kidney stop working completely, what happens? The blood is filled with the extra water and waste products. This condition is called as uremia. So if you see this condition, our hands and feet will become swell. It will swell. You feel tired and weak because your body needs to be clean blood to perform various functions in the body. So as the filtration process is not taking place, the blood, the waste materials is flowing completely in all the cells of your organs in the body, and your hands and feet will swell. This condition is called as uremia. This condition is called as. Is there any solution for kidney failure? There is a solution which is called as dialysis. What is meant by dialysis? It is a process of removing excess of water solutes, toxins from blood in people whose kidneys can no longer perform the functions naturally. It is a treatment that filters and purifies the blood naturally by using a machine called as dialysis machine. So dialysis is again of two types. One is hemodialysis and the other one is peritoneal dialysis. First of all, we will see about hemodialysis. So this is the hemodialysis, and it is the dialysis machine which filters the blood, blood. So in this process, blood is taken out from the artery mixed with the anticoagulant such as heparin, and it is sent into this dialyzer. It is sent into the dialyzer. In this apparatus, blood flows through the channels. You can see there are the tube-like structures here. You can see there are tube-like structures. So in these channels or tubes in which dialyzing fluid is present. Here there is a dialyzing fluid. Okay, so in this dialyzer there is a semi-permeable membrane. There is a semi-permeable membrane which filters the blood. The membrane separates the blood flowing inside the tube and dialyzing fluid, in which the composition is same as that of plasma. That means the dialyzing solution or the fluid and the blood composition is same as that of plasma, in which except nitrogenous waste are present. Okay, so this membrane separates the waste present in the blood. As the nitrogenous wastes are absent in the dialyzing fluids, these substances move out freely into the dialyzing fluid, thereby cleaning the blood. So the filtered blood sent back through the vein of the person after adding again into the anti-heparin. Okay, so this is the process of dialysis. Each dialysis session lasts for about 3 to 6 hours. This method has been using for thousands of kidney failure patients all over the world. Hemodialysis is called as artificial dialysis than the peritoneal dialysis. Why? Because in the peritoneal dialysis, the peritoneum membrane is taken for filtration of blood. What is peritoneal? The peritoneum is a membrane lining the cavity of the abdomen. It is a peritoneal membrane which lines the abdominal cavity, which covers the abdominal organs. This peritoneum is only the membrane which is used to filter the waste present in the blood, which will be studied in detail in the higher classes. Not only the dialysis, there is another long-term solution for kidney failure is kidney transplantation. Here you can see the diagram here. So donor is nothing but who donates a kidney to a kidney failure person. The kidney failure person is termed as recipient. Okay, so in the person whose two kidneys are failed, these are the kidneys which are failed, that means these are the diseased kidneys. Okay, so in this person there is the filtration of blood is not taking place. So what is the solution? There is a solution called as kidney transplantation, where a functional kidney from a living donor is donated to this recipient. So that donor should be preferably a close relative in order to be a good match to donor body, to minimize the chance of rejection by donor immune system. So the living donor should be a close relative. Okay, so that donor kidney is placed in the lower belly portion of the recipient and it is injected into the body, where this kidney will filter now the waste of the blood of a recipient person. Nowadays, the success rate of such techniques has been increased. Organ donation helps a lot of kidney failure patients. Some of the organs are also collected from the brain dead patients. Compared to dialysis, the life expectancy of the kidney transplantation will be more than the dialysis process. So this is about the kidney transplantation. Not only the kidney, there are some other organs are also helps in elimination of waste in our body, which are called as accessory excretory organs. They are lungs, intestine, liver and skin. So how each one organ going to eliminate the waste we will see in the next slide. Lungs, liver, skin and intestine have their own specific function. Along with that, these organs will eliminate waste as their secondary function. So how and what they are going to eliminate, we will see each one by one. First we will see about the lungs. You all know about lungs. Lungs helps in the process of respiration. That means it takes oxygen and leave out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is one of the waste present in the body. So as it is a waste, it is eliminated through the process of respiration. Next we are going to skin. Skin is the largest organ which contains different kinds of glands in them and supplied with numerous number of blood capillaries in it. Okay, so the sweat glands, in the name only you can know that sweat is eliminated from our body. The excess of waste and salts are eliminated from our skin through the form of sweat. Okay, through sweat glands. Not only sweat glands, there are other glands present in the skin which is called as sebaceous glands, which eliminate sebum from the skin. This sebum contains waxes, sterols, hydrocarbons and fatty acids. So next coming to the organ called as liver. So liver contains three pigments which is called as bilirubin, biliviridin and urochrome. These three pigments are formed due to the destruction of RBC in the liver. So this urochrome is eliminated through urine. You have already learned in the process of urination. And this biliviridin and bilirubin is excreted through bile along with the cholesterol and some of the extra drugs like vitamins and alkaline salts like ammonia etc. are eliminated through bile. Okay, so liver is also helps in the formation of urea. And next we will go to the organ called as intestine. Intestine will remove the excess of salts like calcium, magnesium and iron through epithelial cells. Epithelial cells are the cells which lines the intestine. These cells will remove the excess of salts present in the intestine, okay, in the form of feces. And not only all these waste, there are some other nitrogenous waste are also formed in the body which are eliminated through saliva and also through tears. So these are the secondary metabolic waste which are eliminated through these four different organs. Next we are going to learn about excretory organs in the unicellular organisms. Okay, so if you see this slide, there are here you can see there are different phylum and excretory organs. So far we have learned about the multicellular organisms and how the organ is functioning for the process of urine formation. So there are also some certain unicellular organisms in which organ development development will not takes place in them. Only cells will perform all the activities, all the metabolic activities. Okay, so how they eliminate the metabolic waste we will see in a brief. Okay, so if you see the first phyla name called as protozoa, in this protozoa amoeba, paramecium comes under them, and the elimination of waste takes place through a process called as diffusion. That means molecules will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay, so and next coming to the porifera and coelenterata. Okay, in this the organ development will not be seen, so only cells will eliminate the waste by when the water baths the cells, the waste materials will be removed through the water. Next coming to the platyhelminthes and nematoda, flame cells are the excretory organs. In annelids, nephridia are the excretory organs. In arthropoda, green glands and Malpighian tubules are the excretory organs. In mollusca, metanephridia or excretory organ. In echinodermata, water vascular system or excretory organs. Now coming to the multicellular organisms like reptiles, birds and mammals, kidneys are the excretory organs. These are the different excretory organs will help in the elimination of waste in these different organisms. Okay, so in the next class we are going to learn about how excretion is going to take place in the plants.